What is up, MS Gym Nation? Welcome to Motivation Monday. We have some special guests today. La, 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 la. This is Jody Feltham and her husband Phil. So you guys know Jody because she is one of your moderators and she is our admin for the MS Gym. So you see her popping up on posts all the time. She has awesome insight, awesome words. She's a great encourager, great supporter, and she's also an amazing director of resources for getting people to the right place, getting you guys as your exercises, getting you guys as your free stuff. And we have had the honor of hanging out with these two all weekend. They flew down from Ontario, Canada to work with me here at Rise Movement Solutions. Work with Jody to get her released on a lot of her MS stuff, start teaching her to walk better and balance better. And they stayed with us. They got to hang out with us as a family. We've had a great time this weekend. Had some good meals, had some good talks, had some good times, and some good banter back and forth. And I'm just super honored and super pleased that they agreed to join us. And what we want to do today is kind of talk to you guys and give you guys some insight from one of your own. Like Jody is one of your own. I'll let her kind of just give you a brief story here in a sec. And then also from her support system, from Phil. Because there's two different areas, right? There's the MSers, but then MS just doesn't affect you. It affects everybody around you and everybody that you love. And these two are an absolute example of what it is to be unified, what it is to be solid, what it is to be supportive, what it is to be loving, and what it is to be powerful as a couple coming together to battle this MS off and live a high quality MS life, have a thriving marriage, have a strong bond, and we're just honored to call them friends. So thank you guys so much for being here. So Jody, why don't you just give us a brief overview of like your MS history, like super short, like when did it happen, what were your main symptoms, why did you come out and see us?
Okay, so I was diagnosed in 2010 and I was pretty much symptom free at that time, and then over the last 7.5 years I've had relapses and most of them have resolved. Lately the doctor tells me that I've turned progressive, and so my walking has been greatly affected, and so that's why I came up, because the doctor kind of washed his hands of me. And I knew, I saw so many results when I was working out in the MS gym, and I'm like, Trevor and Misty are like the key. They're the missing key to getting me better, getting me walking.
Cool. So, Jody said something really cool. Where are you going?
I want to be able to see if the comments pop up.
Oh, Misty's getting comments. She might have questions. So you guys have comments or questions. This isn't like a Q&A call, but if you have questions for Jody or Phil or us or whatever else, Misty's on her phone right now, so you guys can send questions in and we can kind of chat about it. So we had some really cool conversations yesterday, just over the breakfast table. We were all hanging out. We were just kind of talking about everything in the MS gym and what's going on, and all you guys, how awesome you are, and the victory stories and all that. And Jody made a statement yesterday that was really powerful, is that we were talking about different things that we could talk about in the MS gym, and she's like, I really feel like people need to know that even when you have a bad day, even when you've done the exercise, you've done the research, you're doing the nutrition, you have the mindset. She basically left work to work on this. She quit her job so she could get better and make this her full-time job. There's still some days that are very challenging, and they're very hard, and they're very tough. And I just want to ask you, you've been putting in the work and you've been rocking this. Like, what do you have to do to kind of pull yourself out of a bad place? Prevent yourself from staying in a bad place, and what do you do to what do you focus on when you're having a bad day, and to get you back up and back moving and kind of back up on your horse again and get moving?
Okay. So you've talked a lot about, you kind of give yourself time for the pity party, like 24 hours, and then it's done. And I think so much with our MS and our MS symptoms, like we can feel like we're pushing forward and we're having all these victories, and then it's like the carpet's ripped out from underneath us. And I think it's so important that we see the bigger perspective of everything, because when you see all the things that you can't do for the day that you were able to do amazingly yesterday, you have to look at a bigger picture. Like, this is not who I am today. This is happens to be where I am today, but it doesn't mean tomorrow is going to look like that. Like, it's important, and I know Trevor and Missy talk about, don't let yourself go down that hole of the what if it's like this tomorrow, what if it's worse. Like, it's important to believe the best for yourself, because what I found when the doctor told me I was progressive, I went really deep into kind of a depression and despair, and my body physically responded to that. And even now, when I think, oh, my legs aren't going to work right, they don't, because my mind has already told them they don't. So when I can have a positive perspective, my body works with me and not against me.
Yeah, I like how she said, you know, it's when you're having a bad day, it's what's happening today. It's what is happening, but it's not who I am. Like, that was a cool statement, because if you think about it, this is all circumstantial. Like, we've talked about it. You are a champion. Like, you are a victor. You are victorious in this. You are stronger than this. You are not MS. You are Jody. And it's just the challenge that comes along with your life, right? So that's the thing, is that if you have a bad day, this isn't what you've become. This is just what's happening right now. But you know who you are, and you know the value that you have. Like, you are worthy to heal, and you have value in this world. She still has value to fill, even when she's having a bad day. Like, that doesn't change. And her contribution to the world and in the MS gym and into her community and things that she's doing does not change just because she's having a bad day. But, you know, like, what do you use? Like, what do you do? Walk us through kind of the steps that you take yourself through on kind of a rough day. Like, I know you said you kind of have a pity party, but, like, do you say stuff to yourself? Do you just start moving? Do you talk to Phil? Do you just kind of, like, chill and pray? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, try to just project a little more, because he's so loud, the volume
Okay.
goes up and down.
All right, I got a cannon in here.
Something that Phil has always said since we've been married, and then it relates to this too. He always says, like, with a telemarketer or something, he always says, don't tell me what you can't do, tell me what you can do.
Amen.
And so I've trying to do that so great. So today I can't go for a 10-minute walk or something like that. But what can I do? And I look at the long list of resources. There's so many exercises in the MS gym. You know what? Maybe I'm not so good on my feet today, but I certainly can do some leg spasticity stuff.
Right.
I can certainly do my neck exercises. Like, there's always something to do.
Right.
And even just in the process of doing that, I'm getting the endorphins going in my body. I'm making myself feel better. I'm not letting myself go to those dark places in my head. And a lot of times, like, Phil will be at work, and I'll give him a call and say, I'm struggling, and, you know, and he'll support me. And sometimes he'll pray for me right over the phone. Like, it's connecting into that source. And I know so many times at Motivation Monday and Misty Moments, it's all about thinking positive. And I know it's hard when you're really bad, when you're in a really bad relapse, or you're just not where you want to be in the circumstance, or just where MS has taken you. Like, it's so important to at least find something to be thankful for, find a positive.
Yeah, that's good. And we've talked about it too. You know, I mean, it's those words in your head. You know, what are you telling yourself? What are you feeding yourself? Because if somebody looked at you in the face and said, you're not getting better, you're having a bad day, like, you're a failure, like, yeah, look, you're not strong enough. If somebody actually said that to you, like, you probably want to kind of punch them in the face, right? But we do that to ourselves. Like, all you guys have the option. I mean, you have the option. You can either choose to speak well to yourself or choose not to speak well to yourself. You choose to love yourself well, or you choose to hate yourself. Like, there's really not a halfway in between, you know? So thank you for sharing that, man. I mean, I watched her this week. You know, there was some stuff she was struggling, or this weekend, there was some stuff she was struggling with and some stuff she had questions on. So we went on some walks, which I'll have her talk about in just a second. I challenged her with doing some new stuff, and it was tough because she's literally having to use parts of her brain that she hasn't used before. She's having to build new motor plans and motor programs that are brand new, and access new nerves that she hasn't used, and still fighting against those nerves that in MS that are not doing so great, because she has a bunch of lesions in her brain stem and her neck and all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of an unpredictable challenge, but she rocked through it, and we'll talk about that in just a sec. So I want to give Phil a chance to speak too, because he said something to me, or to us yesterday. It was really cool. Is that, you know, he's her care provider, he's her support system, and what he was very impassioned about yesterday was really saying that, you know, it's hard to be a spouse of someone with MS, because, like, some days you just don't know what to do. Like, some days, like, she may be having a bad day and he's trying to be the man and step up and support her, but then he hangs up the phone and I'm sure he's just like head in his hands, like, oh my gosh, like, this sucks. Like, I would trade today and to feel crappy just so she could have one day to feel completely normal, right? or a week or a month or something. Like, I'm gonna start getting emotional to saying that, because I would be like that with you, you know, like I would trade anything. And so what he said though, he's like, some days are pretty tough, but the cool part is that like Jody has a resource, and she has you guys, she has friends, she has a community, she has people that understand. And what I like about him is he's strong enough of a person and as a man to not be threatened by that and not feel like a failure to that. He actually supports it and encourages it. So, you know, walk us through, Phil, kind of like your battle with this, with watching Jody go through this. I mean, she's the love of your life, she's your bride, she's everything. And like, what do you do? Like, what do you do when she's having a bad day? How can you offer a word of support to other care providers to help them stay strong? Because it can be really tough. I mean, you feel like you have no control.
The thing is that as a care provider, like I've seen Jody, like we used to do a lot of traveling together. We used to do a lot. So when I see her struggle to walk, and I see pictures of our wedding, like today is actually our anniversary.
It's their anniversary.
That's right.
7 years. 7 years. Woo!
But it gets hard, and I look at pictures of, you know, how things used to be and stuff like that, and then it makes me realize that I need something for myself as well. In order to be strong for Jody, I need my own support system. Everyone caring for someone with MS, a lot of times it is about them. It is very, very hard, and your life is going to change big time. So you need to have your own care system, and you need to make sure that care system is there for you. You must understand that your spouse is not always going to be there for you, because they're having a tough time just being there for themselves. One of the toughest things for me is when Jody falls into those dark moments of despair. You have to, as a care provider, you have to be able to be there without falling into it. You have to step back and just really connect with your support network and find something you love to do. Me, I love my music. I love hitting the weights or doing whatever. Just whatever I can do to keep my mind, okay, here I am now. How can I be there for Jody? I'm blessed in the sense that Jody's got a very strong support network. Her parents are there for her as well. Mm-hmm. But as for Jody, as an approach I use to try to help us along with our marriage, is kind of establish a new normal.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's what you said yesterday.
Yeah, we can't. What happened yesterday is gone for now. You know, like Jody and I used to take long, long walks. We used to love that very much. But Jody sometimes struggles just to walk down a street, and that breaks my heart. Me, I love walking. I can walk blocks and blocks and blocks. But what breaks my heart is I can't do that with my wife a lot right now, you know? And it makes me cry. I've teared up, you know? But so I keep talking to her. I said, we have to establish a new normal. We can still do our walks, but they're going to look different. Maybe shorter. Maybe we can sit down for a bit, you know, talk, grab a Starbucks or something like that, you know, like just something that you can kind of establish together, because everything that Jody and I connected on, because of her MS, it's actually broken us down in many ways. So,
but it's built you back up.
It's building us back up.
Right.
That's the important part. It's building us back up. Finding a new normal makes us stronger.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important not to stay in that despair, because as long as you're there, your life, your marriage, everything's gonna fall apart. And care providers, running away is not gonna do anything, because to me that's the coward's way out. I'm just gonna be blunt about it.
I agree.
And so that's why a support system is so important. Mm-hmm. And being there for your spouse is important, and if you want it to be about you, get a strong support network and make sure you have enough strength to be there for your spouse. And establish a new normal, try new things, just go out there and be intentional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we were talking about yesterday too is, and I like what Phil said, is that, you know, you've got to take care of yourself. There's some self-care stuff, because if you're broken down and you're weak, then like how are you going to help Jody, like when she's having a rough day, right? So you've got to take care of yourself. You've also but you don't have to be like a superhero, right? You're still human, and this is still hard. And if you truly, truly love that person as much as you say you do, you're gonna feel the same that they are. Even though they're physically bearing that weight of MS, you're going through it just as much. It's just indirect, right? And so, like, don't feel bad if you're exhausted. Don't feel bad if you're fatigued. And the thing is like he said, find little things to do together. Like you were talking about that yesterday, Misty. Like, give us a little bit of your thoughts on that.
Well, he hit the nail on the head in that, you know, as much as we want you focusing on that vision and where you're going and have your why behind what your vision is and what you intend to get out of your time here in the MS gym, you also don't want to hold on so tightly to the things that you used to be able to do. And that's what Phil is saying, you know, like when you have a loved one, especially a spouse, that is going through something like this, that it has this diagnosis, and then things change. I think the hardest part about that in the relationship is that trying to find a new normal that is mutually beneficial, that is still thriving, and as long as you're holding on to the way that things used to be, then that is that rabbit hole we talked about. You're going to go down that rabbit hole, and you're going to get stuck there because it may or may not ever get back to that place, but if you're constantly living into this is how it used to be and how it's not right now, then you don't leave a lot of room for your marriage to grow.
And you're never going to move ahead. You're never going to move forward.
And you can't move forward from that. So Phil is, I mean, that's awesome. Trying to find those things, like our walks, maybe they're not going to look the same. They're not going to be as long distance as they were before, but we can still take our walks. It's just going to look a little different.
Quality over quantity.
I like how you said that. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that part of it because I think that was massively impactful.
Yeah, I agree. So talk to me a little bit about this weekend, right? So you first, Jody. Like, we had some really cool sessions and we got a lot done. I mean, Jody's been working hard. Like, she's one of the hardest working people in the MS gym. She has been since we started. She is compliant. She is consistent. She is committed. And she's doing her thing, but yet she was still struggling with walking. Like, I got a couple messengers and some videos that she sent and whatever, and she's like, what is going on? Like, I just can't figure this out. Like, I feel good some days and then I just don't. So when she came to me, she had a whole list of questions, right? And I think we answered most of them. But we rocked it out. I just whiteboarded this out and we just got things done that we needed to. So kind of tell me about what were your expectations coming in this weekend? What was your experience, working together in person? And then what have you learned or gleaned, and then what has been your biggest aha moment from this weekend?
So I think, like I said about the whole thing with the doctor, coming to Trevor really believing that he would kind of unlock the keys to what was going on with me, and the first thing was an assessment, and within minutes he said, "Oh, this is not working. We need to release that." It was just amazing. Like who else in the world knows any of this stuff? And just as he would do that, as he would massage and release things, and suddenly muscles would activate that I haven't felt in years. I didn't even know how to get my brain to activate something. And it was incredible, just seeing movement happen just from pressure and things like that. It was incredible.
Yeah. So what has been your biggest takeaway? What was the thing you learned where you're like, oh wait, that's just changed my game?
For myself, it was realizing, we always learn butts, guts, and blades. For myself, so much of my dysfunction, my walking, has to do with my blades. And one of the things is because my lats don't activate. And it wasn't until Trevor did a lot of releasing and massage, actually, my pecs, that I was suddenly able to feel my lats. And last night I went to bed and I was putting them down and back, and I could feel my lats activate. I said,
she was flexing in bed.
I said to Phil, I can actually feel them now. And it's such a weird feeling because I couldn't do that 3 days ago. Yeah. I couldn't actually lock my shoulders down.
So talk to me about using those walking poles, because you were using them, you weren't, and we went to a park 2 days ago and we just walked around the lake. Phil and Misty walked with my two little girls, and Jody and I were just in a zone. We were just walking. So what clicked in your body? Because I think we made a big stride into walking.
Yeah. So I think a lot when I looked online about using trekking poles and using Nordic walking, that you kind of use them behind you. But what the key was for me was actually using them in front, because it actually activated my left shoulder to go down. And that was the problem, because I don't twist well. and that inhibits me from doing a lot of things. And so when I could get that left arm forward, my shoulder blade would go down and it would activate, and my body would twist.
Yeah.
And
What happened when you moved that arm forward? What happened to your right leg?
I didn't have foot drop.
Yeah, she didn't have foot drop.
Yeah.
What? You're telling me that fixing your shoulder actually corrects foot drop? Like, what I've been telling you guys, right?
Well, and I'm not the expert, but I have to tout, like,
Do it.
was it tout my own horn? Is that how you say it?
Toot your own horn.
Toot my own horn.
Misty's about to toot her own horn. Watch out.
Well, when Jody first sent us the video of her walking, that was the first thing that I said. I mean, obviously I'm not the expert, and I've learned a lot just being in business with my husband and watching people move. I could tell a lot of her dysfunction was in her upper body, was in her shoulders, because she didn't
have any mobility.
yeah, and she is up here quite a bit of the time, and it's shutting down the rest of her body. So to see her this weekend and to take those steps, like they got so far ahead of me and the girls and Phil at one point that I wasn't sure we were going to go the right way when it turned, because I couldn't see them. And that's because you guys were trucking right along and you were doing amazing.
I'm a fast walker. I'm a power walker. I take great pride in that. I couldn't keep up with her.
Yeah. So what was some of your, like, because you're kind of in an outside view watching, I mean, he did some filming for us and just kind of he was really good about just kind of letting Jody be with me in her thing and just going. What were some of the biggest things that you saw, either changes in her or aha moments for you?
The biggest thing for me was always when Jody fell into despair. I was always worried about her on moving forward. So when she discovered the MS gym, I thought it was revolutionary. I've always been a firm believer that exercise is a game changer, no matter what.
Smart guy.
But when she started interacting with the MS gym and getting more involved, I saw little Jody come back.
Nice.
And for me, when her doctor wrote her off, I was furious. I was really upset by that. But I was also to me, when the MS, without getting too emotional, I'll just simply said that the MS gym is a great form of medicine. And to me,
Thank you.
it's, I hope that everyone seriously take this seriously. Take this seriously. Don't get bogged down by your excuses. I've seen this woman works very, very hard. She has a lot of setback days, and it kills me because she works so hard. And like usually when I work out, I see results, right? But when she does it, sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes she has to lay down on the couch.
Yeah.
It's like,
But she keeps going.
yeah.
And that's what's cool.
And sometimes she's down, but she gets back up.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So and when I see her, I like when I see people excel, and she does a good job at that. She works so hard nutritionally.
Yeah, Jody she's using AIP because that's just what resonated with her. And like when we were out, I mean, she's on vacation, man, and like we're partying, hanging out. When I say partying, we're just like having fun, right? There was no adult beverages involved. So anyway, or illegal substances in Colorado, or legal substances, whatever. But so that's another conversation. So, but she was dialed. I mean, like I'll fully admit it. Like I respect her for the fact that she was rock solid dialed into her AIP diet the entire time, and we ate at some really good places, and we were with family, and Misty's brother cooked us up an awesome meal, so thanks, Nate, if you're watching this. You're awesome. Thank you for your hospitality. I mean, we were just out, but she was still committed to it, and she found joy in most things that she ate. Some things were like, this would be better with some bacon and goat cheese on it, but it just tastes like grass. But the other things that she had, she was like, she found pleasure in eating well and eating to treat her MS and help out with her MS, along with working through a lot of the stuff that we were working on. I mean, I saw her yesterday. It was really cold. We went down to Boulder, which is my hometown, Boulder, Colorado, and it was cold, man. And we were on the walking poles, and she was struggling a little bit because that cold hit her, and it just locked her up. But what she did is she focused on getting the left shoulder blade back, getting underneath, and just taking her time and chilling out. And I knew there were some frustration points. I heard it under her breath, but she still was solid, man. She was an MS gym warrior, locked it down. and she regained it. And then at the end of the walk, when she was the coldest, we were going up and down steps, and she mastered going upstairs and downstairs and really had very few bobbles the entire time. I mean, so she was dialed. And so like Phil said, like there's going to be up days, there's going to be down days, but she is taking it so serious along with many of you, and that is why you are getting better. That's why you see hashtag victories all over the place in the MS Gym and the MS Rebuild pages and all that. So
Speaking of that, and I know we can wrap this up here soon.
Yeah.
But my question is for you, Jody, when you found yourself since finding the MS Gym and then just being involved in the MS Gym and then obviously becoming a moderator and admin of ours, how has the MS Gym and the community itself helped you through kind of those dark days and just some of your hard days since joining the MS Gym?
good question.
It's an amazing question. I feel so much purpose in the MS Gym. When the day that I saw the doctor and gave him bad news was actually the day that the MS Gym opened. And
Godsend.
it
That's
was
awesome.
like, to me, like someone's watching out for me, and like I'm like, that's too much of a coincidence. And so I find so much purpose and so much fulfillment in the MS Gym doing exercises, because I know these exercises are going to help me, and also encouraging all of you and getting you to push on, because I know what it feels like to be stuck in the I can't, it's over, I'm going to be in a wheelchair, I'm going to be 100% disabled, I'm not going to be able to do anything. And the MS Gym helps get me out of that space, and I see victory after victory after victory. And there's so many times when I post when I'm having a struggle, or I rocked it yesterday and today, and the next 2 days I'm on the couch. But it's the community, because I know that we all get each other. I know we might have different symptoms, but we all get each other, because all those voices, all that nattering in our head, it's all the same, right? And we still have to fight to block that stuff out and put the truth in our heads.
I love it. Put the truth up, baby.
And what I love about that, and why I wanted her to share that with you guys, is because on your hardest of days, a lot of times if you just get into the MS Gym and start loving on somebody or scrolling through and reading the comments, there's a lot of healing that can happen. So if you're physically like, I maybe am just gonna work on some spasticity release today and that's all you wanna do, then scroll through the MS Gym, start getting into comments and encouraging and lifting others up, and allow others to lift you up, or just inspire you on any victories that are being shared, and you'll help kind of come out of that headspace a little quicker.
Cool. Well, you guys, we'll want to wrap it up, because we could talk all day. We could do this all day. But what the cool part is, and what the awesome opportunity about having Jody here and Phil here is, like, I have learned so much, and people are always like, well, what's your education, what's your credentials, all this kind of stuff, like, where did you learn all this stuff? I learned it from them. I learned it from you. I learned it from clients over and over. Like, yes, I have a master's degree and I have a biomechanics specialty and I have all these letters after my name. Cool. But if I can't take that education and then apply it to real life people, then I'm no good than just basically a Kindle textbook just regurgitating junk, right? So to be able to be with Jody and her ask great questions and me process that, like every single time someone is on my table or in my facility, I learn more. I learn how an MS body moved. I've documented it. It's in my head. I notice it. I don't forget the clients that I've worked on. And so she is a canvas for me to paint on, and a canvas and a book for me to learn from. And so that is why, like, she's in it with you guys and Phil's in it with you guys, because you're living it. And then we take a step back and I'm like, Misty and I talk, and we're like, how can we best deliver solutions for it? Because sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. Well, we're floating above the forest right now. And that's what we do, is we pull solutions out from the experiences that we've had. So I super appreciate you guys. I love you both so much.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes, of course.
Coming here was the absolute best decision that I have made in a very long time. Next to giving my life to the Lord and marrying this guy. Like,
Nice, I'm number 3.
It has been such an incredible opportunity to see Misty and Trevor's heart. Like, they are sold out to the MS Gym. Honestly, the amount of sacrifice they give from sun up to sundown, they are working for us.
Yeah, they saw it.
Yeah, we saw it. And so all the more, like, I'm like, please don't say you can't, or I can never, or complain about whether it takes time for him to get back to you. Like, they are working endlessly for you. So I know we are all grateful. Like, I'm eternally grateful for them. And so just be patient and just believe. Like, honestly, like, who knew that, like, pushing a little bit on my leg would take away my drop foot? Like, it's been amazing, and you won't believe it until you come here, but find a way to get here or do some online sessions with Trevor. Like, it will change your life.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, Phil can say one thing too.
I'm going to quote a song.
Of course you are. He's a music
I'm
junkie.
a walking jukebox.
I like it.
Walking jukebox.
He's a playlist.
That's straight.
There you go.
Impossible is not a word. It's just a reason not to try.
I like that. I like that. So, well, we appreciate you guys being here. This was such a special treat, and like I said, like, these guys are family to us, just like all of you are family to us. And like I said last week on Motivation Monday, I don't take that lightly. Like, these guys, I took them to my hometown, and they learned about my family. They learned about, like, the past, that, like, talking about my dad who passed away and my family, and they met Misty's family. Like, they are family to us. They believe in us. They see it. They support it. And so do all of you. And that's why we feel so close to you and why we love you. And we really do mean it, and you can see it. All right? So you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Misty, do you have any closing thoughts? Are you good?
No, I just, we appreciate you. We appreciate your support and your patience, like Jody said. So keep doing what you're doing, and don't give up, and hold on tight to those dreams that are in your heart.
Absolutely. So, all right, you guys, go rock Monday. Go practice your stuff. Keep watching this week. Some of the exercises that we are doing this week were inspired by this one and this left shoulder right here. So that is what really freed up her gait, and we've worked on knees, we worked on hips, we worked on spine. Time to work on upper body. The combination thereof could be that key for you, just like it was for Jody. All right? So, have an awesome day. We love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Stop.
Stop.
Hold on, sorry.